afternoon or evening if you're on the East Coast. How's everybody doing today? Hey, welcome. I am streaming live on 3 different channels today. So I am live on Miss Lillians, my own page, which is Tona Transformations, and my YouTube page right now. So if you join me, leave me a comment and I will try to answer your questions. So we are doing Miss Lillians this afternoon for the paint that we are using on this live. So I went ahead and grabbed, this is an old vintage card catalog. I don't know how vintage, it might be circa 1970, like, right? When we say vintage and we mean like 1970, does that make us feel old? It makes me feel old as heck, right? Because that's my, when I grew up. But anyhow, so circa vintage 1970s, I would say card catalog. What I want to do is show you a couple different techniques that I am using. And when you guys hop on, just say hi so I can see who's on here. Let me know where you're from, where you're tuning in from. What are you doing today? Like, what the heck is going on? Is it nice where you are? Let me tell you, I am in Nampa, Idaho, right out of Boise, and we are freezing still. Freezing. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 70 and be 80s into this weekend. Idaho goes from like winter to summer. So hopefully by Mother's Day, we're supposed to be warm enough to like put our vegetables out and start being able to plant and do our fun things. So anyhow, welcome. I'm going to start off by showing you something that's really fun. It's a way to add some drama and create some texture on your pieces. So I have Miss Lillians Texture Magic. So it is a texture medium that you add to paint. So I went ahead and grabbed a dark color. This is industrial. It's kind of like a blackish brown. You see that? I was trying to figure out what color it was. It's a really, really dark brown, almost a black. It's a crazy, crazy dark color. And I just like it. I like using that kind of dark colors more as my base when I do texture. I don't know why, but I usually do use dark colors. You can use a light color. You can use whatever color you have. A lot of times when I do a base layer with texture, I'll use whatever paint I have extra just to burn it off. Basically just to get rid of it because I usually cover it up with the blending. So if you got extra paint that you're like, what am I going to ever do with this color? I'm never going to use it in your texture medium. So I just poured a little bit of that paint into the container and we are going to add some of the Texture Magic. It's a powder into our paint, a little spoon, and we're going to mix it in. What I'm looking for is a brownie-like consistency, and I put way too much Texture Magic and not enough paint. I either do too much or too little. I don't measure anything, so don't ask me what my ratios are. It basically is to get your paint to kind of look like brownie batter. The more Texture Magic you add, the thicker your paint is, right? The thicker it can get. So I might add just a little drop of paint so that it's not so thick. And it just depends on how thick you want your texture. Sometimes I do want a super thick texture. If you can do a raised stencil with this stuff. You can do all kinds of fun things. So would you guys say hi when you're on here? I know you YouTubers can't really, you can comment, but I can't really see what you say. But the Facebookers can definitely. So look at that. Isn't that cool? What do you think? Isn't that fun? So we're going to put that to the side. I'm going to grab a brush, and I like to grab a brush that has like a hard stipple. A stencil brush would work. This is just an old paintbrush, not one that I actually paint with. It's just one that I use to kind of give me to use with texture. So I'm going to get that on there, and I'm going to pounce this guy. I'm going to take my paint, and I'm just going to pounce. This is the fun part. This is where we get the texture layered. And we're just going to pounce them on. The great thing about using texture is that it also helps when you have a slicker surface. It helps paint adhere to a slicker surface, right? It's kind of a little trick. Whatever's in it, it dries like concrete and your paint is not coming off, like super, super hard and durable. So we're just going to cover this surface and just kind of like the stipple. Can you guys kind of see? I could bring the camera closer. The little bit of a stipple-y mark. I can't pick this thing up. It weighs too much. My idea with this piece is to do this and then add some hairpin legs so it gets it off the just being a on the tabletop, and get all that texture and just add some more in there. If you have extra paint, just goob it on so that you have really a good texture base, okay? Set that first aside. Now I already did the top and the bottom. Thanks for the heart. Hi, Angie. Hey, Cheyenne. Hold on. Get the back of my head. I already did the front and the side and the top earlier. Texture takes a good, I put my fan on it, took about a half an hour for it to dry. That's the reason that I do it beforehand, because I just don't have time. We don't have time for paint to dry, right? So you're from Texas. Hi, Cheyenne. Thanks for hopping on today. So I grabbed some paint. I didn't know what colors to use. Like you guys, I'm just like you. I never know what color I want to use, right? It's always the most, what's it going to be today? And I find myself kind of leaning towards the same colors quite often because I like the same colors. I like the turquoises and the pinks and the grays and stuff like that. When I get out of my normals and I paint something red or orange, it's like, it's not my favorite, but when I'm done, I'm always like, so I just love to get out of my comfort zone. Hey, Barb, I haven't seen you forever. Hey, Krista, how's it going? So, yeah, I decided to grab, we'll see. Tell me what you think. We have ginger, cinnamon stick. So what is that? An orangey, yellow, I don't know what I would consider pretty. Looks like curry. Curry. Oh, that's exactly what it looks like, Karen. Thank you. And then my favorite color in the entire line, which is Stella Luna, which is this gorgeous blue. Like I could paint everything with this color and my life would be totally happy. Love that color. That's why I have it in 32-ounce size. I use it the most. So here's the colors out on my tray. They're all in one container. It's okay that they kind of mix together. I'm going to just blend them. Now, I tried to take these little deals off. They won't come off. Look inside these drawers. It is really an old card catalog. I tried to figure out how to like redo these and take these things out. I couldn't. So I thought it was just a unique piece. And it also has, oh, that one came out, but the other ones didn't. It also has these cool things. These are really heavy duty, those old brass hardware. So what my idea is to go ahead and do this. That's why I just painted over the brass and probably like rust these things. That's why I didn't mind if I got paint on them, because this is the only one that came out. We tried to take the rest out. I think they were glued or something. I don't know, but I could not get the rest. I screwed and pulled, and I didn't want to break it. I left it. Okay, so we're going to kind of do some type of blend. So I thought we would start with the Stella Luna. Keep in mind, I'm going to use one paintbrush for this entire piece. I'm not going to switch out my paintbrushes, I don't think. Sometimes I will. I'm just going to kind of tap these guys because I got texture on here. So it's really fun to keep the texture within the piece. So that's why I'm kind of just tapping it along to get it to just tap, tap, tap on here. So we're going to start with the darker color, the Stella Luna. And then I thought I would add some of the orange, the cinnamon stick. And I may tap, I may paint, I'm not sure, like I'm just testing it out. I kind of just put the colors down really quick to make sure that they look good together before I did them. And we'll see. So I may just end up blending them like that because I kind of think they look better. There we go. So I'm going to start now swirling them around. Do you see what happens when the blue hits the orange? And let's throw the little yellow in there. Let's put the yellow in the middle. Remember, when you're blending, the colors that touch each other make a third and fourth color. That's when it starts to get really interesting, right? You start to get definition. You start to pull some new kind of colors in. This is not my favorite blending brush. I usually have really big fat ones, but we'll use this one. And now it kind of made almost a avocado green color, right? Isn't that pretty? So we're just going to keep going. Remember that the paint is still wet. The Stella Luna is wet. We've already got our base coat down with the industrial. So we've already got one coat of paint. Basically, we just need to blend our top coat and we're good to go, right? We're good to go. So we're just going to play with swirling our paint around and bringing that blue, the Stella Luna, which I'm going to hit it again. I'm going to add a little bit more Stella Luna to my brush, bringing it in. And it's taking that orange cinnamon stick, orangey red, down to a brownish color. I don't know. It's just interesting. I thought we would kind of do the middle here. Add a little bit of the cinnamon stick. You like the wildflower flowers that look like this, Barb, right? So true, right? So true. You had a flashback to the 1980 terms paper at the public library, right? These were so, the card catalogs, right? I remember going to the library and reading books. I can't remember the last time I did that. That's sad, right? A lot of states and cities don't even have libraries. Where we live, we actually do still have public library, a brand new one actually, here in our town. It's just down the street from my store, actually. I own a brick and mortar store in downtown Nampa, Idaho. And I'm assuming people still go in there and read. I haven't been in there in so long, I have no idea. It's terrible of me. But I mean, I have a laptop and a computer and the internet at home, so I really wouldn't need to use it. But that is now giving us, you know what this vibe is? I just realized it looks like rust, right? I actually just provided, when I didn't even realize I was doing this, myself with a rusted look on the front of this. What do you think about that? In just a few swipes. Hi, Kylie. You're at dinner? Oh, good. Go eat dinner. Go eat dinner. Yeah, it's only 4 o'clock where I am in Idaho, so it's not that late. So I'm just going to kind of go around these middles. I've already dragged my brush to the blue, and I'm not adding any more paint. It's going to deepen around these little knobs. Gosh, I'm loving this. That's really pretty. That was easy. That didn't take me no time at all. And I had no plan for this when I started. I haven't added any more paint to my brush. I am just using the paint that's on my piece and kind of softly swirling it now to get it all to blend. Like I said, the idea of blending is to take one color into another color and make a third color, and introducing other colors, and you make 4 and 5 different colors. So, and the idea is to not see where it starts or where it stops. I'm going to add a little bit more of the cinnamon stick, which is this beautiful rusty orange color. So who would have thought that these colors actually complement each other? So now I have a rusted piece. I wasn't planning on having a rusted piece, but now I'm loving it, and I'm going to paint an entire big piece now with these same colors because I love how it's looking. I'm adding just a touch of orange down here at the bottom. The paint is still wet. Now, granted, wherever you guys are at in the country, I live in Idaho, and it's a very dry climate. So it will dry fast for us. Where you live in a humid climate, sometimes you'll have more working time. If you live in a super dry climate, mister bottle works great, but it's cold today, so I'm not even worried about my paint drying before I get it blended. You can pull out your drawers, and then you can touch up the sides and the tops later on. I always do that, and whenever I blend, and I'll catch the sides, whenever I blend, I always blend with the drawers in. That way I have a seamless blend, and it all kind of matches up. Makes sense? let's turn it on the side. Now let's see where we can go with it on this. Can you see that? Let me put you down. There you go. You're right. Well, let's start with the Stella Luna. Now I'm using the same brush, and yes, my brush does have paint in it still from the other colors I've used, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the Stella Luna, kind of outline this pretty girl here. I am ending up picking up some of the other colors as I'm dipping into my container, but that's no big deal. Let's add some of that cinnamon stick. That cinnamon stick and the blue really give it that rusty look, right? Really give it that authentic rust. Now we do have a rusting kit that you can do, but this works. These colors together are working just fine. Just fine. What do you guys think of the color choices that I picked today? I'm surprised, actually, that they look so good. You love the rust. In Texas, and even one coat does it. So where Krista is in Texas, and she has to use a Mr. bottle constantly because it's so hot, right? Where here, we live in a super dry climate. So depending on how hot it is, and this one I picked up all the colors in the middle, I usually don't have to do it because it's not drying too fast. Like I said, it's probably 50 degrees today. It's cold. If it's that. I'm over this weather. I wish I lived in Texas at this time until next month, and then I wouldn't wish I lived in Texas. Right? We all wish what we don't have. So I'm just going to kind of swirl around my brush. There's plenty of paint on here, so I don't even have to re-moisten my paint or re-dip my paint. I'm just going to use my brush to gently go over and move this paint around and kind of swirl it around. It's kind of giving it an earthly, beautiful look. It kind of reminds me of like, what is it, like outer space, right? Just like an outer space look. It's really pretty. Now, if you want, and you don't want to use the colors on your brush, you can grab a dry brush, one that doesn't have any paint on it, and use it to keep feathering out. What that will do is soften the look a little bit more. It'll just soften your look, okay? Soften that look. And I don't have any paint. I mean, it's not pulled, it's just pulling it and moving it around. So then I'll keep a dry brush that I will just use for that look. I am using Klingon brushes, which are my favorite. Let's see if we can do the top. Let me raise you guys up. There we go. Now you can get a better look. I have to pour a little bit more paint into my container here. A little bit of the cinnamon stick. And the thing is I try to always tell people, everybody thinks they need to have so much paint. You really don't need that much paint. You can get by with the 8-ounce jars and do so many color combinations, right? You don't have to have all this tons of paint to create these gorgeous colors. Really, when you blend, the less there is, the better. People think that you have to just have so much, and you really don't. Can you guys see that? Let me see. Let me get you closer. Whoops, without knocking my whole setup over. Hold on. Whoa, fly. Okay. There we go. All right. So we're just going to swirl around the top. I'm flinging paint all over my computer. It really is a rough look. Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled with this. I hope to see lots of paint orders for Stella Luna, Cinnamon Stick, and Ginger. My affiliate link is on the bottom. If you want to order any of the paint, I do get a small percentage from Miss Lillians for doing the lives for the paint sales. Or you can order them directly off my own website because I do have them on there too. So we're just going to kind of do a little circle. So the orange, then we're going to add some yellow right in the middle, right? Maybe a little bit more. I really like the way the orange is. I'm going to grab the brush that I haven't, the one that's dry, and that's going to help me just feather out everything. Now, if the paint starts to dry, I will grab my fine mist sprayer and I would mist it a little bit. By this weekend, when we get warm, finally, I will have to use it for everything that I do because it'll dry too quick. So just do it according to your, I'm trying to do it so that my hand's not in the way. Do it according to your weather, and how fast your dry times are, and try to do it with my other hand. I keep putting my arm in front of the camera. So I'm using the dry brush, right? The one that has no paint on it. You're under a tornado watch? That's one thing I don't think I could do. I really don't think. We were traveling last year and we were in Nebraska or something, and they had a tornado watch and we were in the hotel. I said to my husband, what do we do? He's like, hopefully they have a basement. I'm like, I have no clue. So Idaho has no natural disasters except for fire. Like, we have an earthquake very seldomly. I am from California originally, so I know what it's like to live when there's big earthquakes. But here, they have a shaker and everybody panics. I mean, since I've lived here 20 years, I think I felt two. One that was substantial, but nothing like when you live in California and they happen every day. And then they do massive damage. I'm just adding a little more color. So I add in a little bit of the yellow right here because I wanted a little bit more brightness to not just be this hole in the middle, right? Wow, that's really pretty. I'm really thrilled with this. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. Look at how pretty the side is. So yes, tornado, I'm sorry, but I would have no idea what to do. What do? You go to the basement and you hope that your house doesn't fly away. I have been watching those things on TV. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. We don't have hurricanes, tornadoes. Very seldomly do we have an earthquake. We have wildfires, which, they're coming. It's not like it hits and then you don't know it's there. I will pray for you that you are okay. Go to the basement. Hi, Stacy. How's it going? Let's see. Stella Luna is one of your favorites. Yes, Raina, it sure is. Thanks, Stace. Enchanted Night. I just ordered it. Okay, am I going to love it? So I'm a new content creator with Miss Lillians, so I don't have all the colors yet. So every month I try to add more and more and more. And I'm just so thrilled at how they blend because of the fact that they are a no wax paint, meaning when this is dry, I'm done. Girl, be out, right? Normally I'm waxing, I'm doing all this stuff, and it has kind of a semi satin, not super shiny, but a really nice finish on it. So it's really fun to do that. Oh, Stacy, tonight's your Friday. This is your last day at work. She works evenings. Well, I'll be here every day if you finally sleep. Yeah. So look at how pretty. Oh my gosh. I'm just in love with this. So then, this is heavy. We will do the last side, but we can't do it, the one that we started with, because of the texture is not dry. So, well, what'd you think of that? That was pretty easy. Like, that didn't take me 25 minutes, you guys. I was thinking I'd be on here all night. So this is going to dry. It looks like it's an old rusted cabinet. I have some hairpin legs. What do you guys think? Hairpin legs underneath to get it up. It weighs 25, 30 pounds easily. Easily. Maybe some rust flowing through this with Miss Lillian's rust kit. I'll have to do that off camera. Like make it like it's dripping with rust. Get these guys to rust even more. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Right? Hairpin legs. Thanks, Raina. I think it would be super fun. All right, you guys. Well, if you have any questions, please. Like I said, I'm live on my own page. I'm live on my YouTube, and I'm live on Miss Lillians. So if you have any questions, any of those 3 platforms, just post them. I see them all. Okay, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me just tell you once again the colors that I use, just so you can keep them in your head. Stella Luna is the blue. Ginger is the yellow, or as curry color, and cinnamon stick is the burnt orange. They complement each other so well, like so well, right? So, and just some texture magic mixed in with my paint, so that I had, see what helped a lot with this, and I'm going to show you a little bit closer, is that it was the texture gives it more ability to look like iron, right? Like rust, because rust is not smooth. So adding texture, I'm a freak about texture. Like I love me some texture. And it doesn't have to be a lot of texture. So you could also make your paint super thick and do it on like a raised stencil if you wanted to. You just have to let it dry. Yeah, it's very industrial, Stacy. Thanks, Angie. You like it? It's pretty, huh? Okay, so anyhow, I just wanted to come on, show you guys that. I'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll do another fun creation. Okay, you guys, go and be fabulous. My name is Debbie Tona. I'm with Tona Transformations, live on Miss Lillians, my page, and YouTube. If you have any questions, let me know. See you later. Bye. Whoops. Bye.